These watercolor crayons are made by a company called Caran, and I have got the name spelled out in the description under this video. And they're a kind of crayon that you can use three ways, either in the dry form, just scribbling on a piece of watercolor paper, or you can dip them into a cup of water and then use them wet, or you can have them on a piece of paper dry and then wet them later with a brush. I used all three of these methods in my paintings, but for this particular one, I just used the dry method, and I used these watercolor crayons to make highlights on top of my finished painting of the lone cypress at Pebble Beach in California that I did on my road trip. So you'll see that the finished painting has enough friction on it, or enough tooth on it, so that these crayons show up when you use them over the paint, and it makes kind of a nice highlight. I also use these water-soluble crayons just by themselves with no paint, either under them or over them, when I did a painting of the Colorado River on my road trip, and I have posted that elsewhere on my YouTube channel, so you'll see it under Colorado River painting. And that one is just the crayons, no paint. The reason I chose to do that for the Colorado River was because it was a very windy day, and I was up on top of a cliff. So I didn't want to take a chance on setting up all my paints and water and everything and then have it blow over. And as it turned out, the wind came up anyway, and the stool that I was going to put my painting supplies on blew into the Colorado River off the edge of the cliff. So it was a good thing I hadn't put anything on the stool yet. So I just lost my new Amazon painting stool, but at least I didn't lose all my painting supplies. One thing I wanted to accentuate in this painting of the cypress was that these Monterey cypresses are so windblown that they have that diagonal look to them. When you see them all over the Monterey Peninsula, not just here, they always look diagonal, like they're all kind of facing the same way and having been blown by the wind in the same direction. So that was the beauty of this scene, was that all these branches and leaves and trunks and twigs of the tree all seemed to be facing the same way. And I was able to get that flavor by using these water-soluble crayons over the top of my paint to highlight and accentuate that diagonal movement. On this particular road trip that I recently took, I was all by myself, so I had the luxury of being able to stay at a location as long as I wanted. Whereas in the past, when I have been with relatives or friends that were looking at their watch and saying, "Is it time to go now?" I had to kind of pack up and go quickly. So in those instances, it was nice having these watercolor crayons, water-soluble crayons, they actually are. So you could pack them up and throw them in a box and get up and be gone in 2 minutes. When you have to, or when I have put out my paints by myself, I have the luxury of taking a long time to clean up and pack up and put them in the way without anybody hurrying me. So that's why I did this painting originally just in paint. But then when I went back to add the highlights, I used the crayons. So it's nice to have a painting medium that can serve the purpose of a quick getaway and still give you the look of a finished watercolor painting, not just a rough sketch. So if you like this kind of painting demo, please subscribe to my channel and let me know in the comments below if there's anything in particular that you'd like to see me paint in the future. Thanks for watching.